Hi everyone, welcome back to our pumpkin page from Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford using Prismacolor pencils. The word just wouldn't come. I just didn't know what I was saying. We're going to be starting with some of the greenery today, and then I may do some more orange. We'll just see how it pans out really. Now I think olives go really nicely with orange, so that's what I'm going to use. I think just having a think, I'm going to start I think with the lime peel, and I'm going to do a base on the stem and, well, all the greens. So I'm just going to, not these are going to have to be a different colour, but I'm just going to do a sort of base of orange peel just to get us started. Lime peel, not orange. Orange peel, nice, but not what we're looking for. Yeah, these will be a little bit different, but they are a completely different plant, I think, to the pumpkin. So I'm just putting a base down. I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing too much, just staying, I was going to say staying in the lines. I'm not even doing that really, am I? You know me, can't do that. I didn't get a cardigan, which was a bit of a mistake. But I did pop next door in between videos to empty my pencil sharpener. And husband offered to make me a coffee. Sounds good. So I shall have a coffee when I'm finished. Yeah, it's see, I'm going to put those as those flowers. So I'm not, if you do colour them in with this, it's not going to matter, but it's not what I'm going for here. I've seen this page done with the with this bit done in a very grey green colour, and it looked really nice. But I'm going to be boring. Just do it in nice olives. This is very narrow, isn't it? Hoping my pencil can cope. This is quite a new pencil. You see, it's nice and long. It's one of the greens that I use the most. Now I'm looking at this. This almost looks like it's the top of a pumpkin, but then what's this? Don't know. I suppose it could be like tiles. I think I'm gonna, yeah, do this bit like this. And all these leaves as well with this base. It's quite nice to have a sort of base colour to work with. I can also see where I've missed orange and things like that as well, which can be useful. So I hope everyone's doing well. I nearly coloured that, but I think that's part of our lamp. We'll do that differently after. Yeah, apart from being, it's weird, it's really hot and humid outside. Although, I have to say, I had a little jacket on, and I undid it when I was inside, but outside I did it up. It's very old weather, but it feels chilly in here. I think because it's breezy outside, getting a bit of a draft coming through somewhere. Our house can be a bit drafty. I don't know why. It's not an old house. It was built, well, saying that, it was built in the 1980s, which for me, anything that's not as old as me doesn't feel old, because I don't feel old. Maybe that's ancient for a house. I don't know. My parents' house was built in the 60s, and that is quite a modern house as well. Actually, my sister likes old houses, you know, where my parents live, there's a lot of Regency houses, they're pretty old, a lot older. Anyway, yeah, so that I feel we get draft from somewhere, but I've never really been able to, we get a bit by the front door, but apart from that I've never really been able to identify exactly where. Probably just from windows and things. But we can't have, we don't have insulation in between the bricks. Like a lot of people get sold cavity wall insulation where you put insulation between the bricks of the houses, but we haven't been able to have ours done, and actually I'm now quite pleased. My parents have a lot of condensation in their bedrooms since they had theirs done, but they called someone out to have a look at it, and he said it had been done properly and he couldn't understand why they were having such problems. So I don't know, but they've only been having the problems since they had the insulation. These plants down at the bottom I'm not going to do with this colour yet, but I'm going to do the stems of these pumpkins because I want them to look pretty much the same. We'll probably use our Verithins for doing some detailing on these stems, and maybe, I just heard the weirdest sound. It sounded like a sheep bleating. I'm pretty sure there isn't one in here. I don't know what it was. Or a cow meowing, something like that. Either way, there isn't one round here. I don't know what it was. We haven't got any animals or anything, so certainly, but husband and boys are around, so who knows, maybe they're being weird. Alright, so we've got a nice base on most of the leaves now, just finishing these off. There's an aeroplane going over. I'm sure it wasn't that I heard. It was a really loud one last night. But when it's when the sky is clear and it's not cloudy, it's always much louder. Right, there are the basic leaves. I'm going to do a little bit of detailing. We're going to start with the stem, and I'm going to come in closer so you can see what I'm doing, because we're quite far away at the moment, aren't we? There we go. And I'm going to use Decisions, the apple green. I love the apple green. And I'm going to start at the bottom where I think it would be a little bit darker here, where these lines are that Johanna's drawn for us. I feel that she's telling us that these are the areas that we need to put a bit of darker colour. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because our this is going to be throwing some shadow up, and besides that it just looks pretty. And here as well, I'm just going to go over all the lines that Johanna has drawn here, because I think she's been guiding us to what she feels we should be doing, like that. And then is this the best colour? No. I'm going to grab a different colour now. I think the moss green is going to be good. I'm going to have to sharpen it though. Knocking my pencils flying. Here we are. This is the moss green. You can't see the name on it because it's got short. And I'm going to start doing, I'm going to put a little bit more colour or shadowiness on the edge here, and do some shadow under here, just with this moss colour. A little tiny details, quite tricky with this fat pencil, but got there, and a bit more there. Like that, and then I'm just going to put a bit of this on the edges, particularly at the bottom, and sort of shadow underneath things. A bit up there. Under there. don't know whether we've got, just seeing what greens we've got. We've got olive, grass, apple. Okay, I'm going to try and just do it even though it's quite narrow. Work around. I had made an interesting discovery the other day that I thought I might share with you. It's a bit irrelevant to what I'm doing, but I had bought a Sennelier pastel metallic because I thought having metallic pastels would be so much fun. I used it a little bit, found it quite difficult to use, to be honest, and it transfers to the next page worse than anything I've ever used before. And I made a discovery because I carefully asked in the art shop, is this a soft pencil? I don't want oil pastels. I want, you know, soft pastels. And he's like, yeah, it's a soft pastel. It's a soft oil pastel. This is Lime Peel. Maybe you know this if you're familiar with them. Maybe I was being very naive. What I'm going to do is to make this edge much darker and to just gently bring the darker colour in towards the middle. So I'm sort of burnishing here by and then just making this colour more intense as we come in. Now we're not, this apple green is still showing up, which is perfect, and I am going to use another colour on this central bit. I just want to make this look a little bit more intense. So yes, so I've discovered that a Sennelier soft pastel is a soft oil pastel, and that's why it didn't behave how I expected, and it sort of was very messy. Basically, I forgot to do top of there, so that was interesting. So although I really like the idea, I'm just going to sharpen it, of using a metallic pastel. There isn't any. Not soft pastels anyway, which is a shame. But well, I'm lying. Pan pastels have them. They have iridescent and metallic pastels, and I have used some of those, and they are lovely. My next colour is the chartreuse. You can see it's very fat. I'm going to have to just sharpen it a little bit. Gosh, I was just looking up to the sky when I was doing that, and there is the tiniest patch of I'm just going to go over all of this with this one. Tiniest patch of blue sky in the middle of one set of white cloud and one set of grey cloud. It really is very cloudy, and you can see how that's now much more intense. It brings it to life, I think, a little bit, makes it stand out a bit more, which was the plan. And we are going to do something similar-ish with our leaves in a minute, once we finish this. Not these little leaves on here. I haven't decided what I'm doing with those yet. They are quite small, but the leaves lower down the page. So yes, I was a bit disappointed about the Sennelier pastel. So I've got one Sennelier pastel which is very hard. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Very oily. Now, can we get you all in? Is that all the leaves? Oh, we haven't got the stems at the bottom as well. We'll do those later. Right, we're going to do all these leaves. We're going to use the Verithin pencil for these. I've just sharpened it. It's the olive green. We don't have The Verithins come in a sets of 12, 24 and 36, I think. And so there aren't a huge range of colours, but I think this green is going to work perfectly fine. And what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of darker green at the top of each leaf, and then just sort of fade it down a bit into the lime peel. And then when I'm done, I'm going to smush it all together, probably with the chartreuse, because I like it. I think that's as good a reason as any. I think I noticed that I'd missed a leaf with the lime peel much on the other side, so I might have to go back and play with that in a minute too. But it's been fun trying to fit in this little bonus video for you. The evening videos will stop, but I'm sort of trying to, because I got my book earlier than I expected, I had made videos in advance ready. Let's do a bit with this one, a bit down there I'm thinking, in the edge, and here on the side. Yeah, I'd done some videos in advance ready so that I could concentrate on book ones and things like that, and I just got the book earlier, so I was able to sort of get going with it before I expected, and you know, having other things that I want to get to you as well. So I was in the fortunate position of having the time to offer you 3 a day, but that will stop probably once Halloween, probably after this one, I'm not sure. But I've just finished a series from the book already for you, 12-parter, and I'm not sure if that will have, no, that won't have started yet, so that's something for you to have a look out for. It's one of the pages with 12 items on, so yeah, 12 items, 12 parts, and it gets a bit confusing, I think, because it starts being an afternoon video and then it becomes a morning video after a while, because it would otherwise clash with planner day, but I'm just squeezing them in where I can. Now we're going to do this one right at the bottom here, and I'm just going to do a bit on around the edge basically. And then back up here. So yeah, I've been just trying to get them out to you as soon as I can, really, while the book's new and everyone's excited. I think everyone's looking for videos, so get them out for you. And I'm enjoying it too. It gives me a new enthusiasm for videos, but I realise not everyone has this book, so I've got to look at some others as well at some point. But at the moment, no. It's funny because I'm not like this with other new books, only Johanna's. I get totally obsessive, and I think it's because Johanna was the first colorist that illustrator's books that I bought. My channel was exclusively Johanna to start with, and I think I could certainly find enough to keep it just Johanna, but I know that people have asked me to do other things, and so I've just diversified a bit. And I know there are people who actually prefer to do others, not Johanna, and that's absolutely understandable. You know, sometimes it's nice to have a change, do something different, or you prefer a different style. You know, we're all different. So I am just colouring the base of every leaf and then scumbling it in, and noticing all the areas where I need to do a bit of extra orange. But there we go. We can attend to that. But that's, yeah, I wanted to blend the orange first, but now we can go in with some details in our orange if it's needed some more colour once we've done this green. This one is the one I missed out because it's quite orange, so I'm just going to put the lime peel over it first, and then this one. And we're just going to do these two, just again, just around the edge really. Now I'm going to use the chartreuse to go over all my leaves, and I'm going to colour the whole of them in this, and it will just hopefully blend all the colours together and sort of finish them off really. I'm not doing anything too fancy with them, but they're coming, it turns them into a lovely olivey, vibrant, warm colour, which I absolutely adore. Which is why this chartreuse used to be my favourite colour, but I think combined together with the lime peel, it's really nice. Now some of my leaves are looking quite orangey because I've gone over the edge, and I think they look rather pretty. So that's lucky. I didn't really want to go back through erasing all the places where I have gone over the edge, over the lines. You know me, I don't do that. I don't worry about it. I went into a florist's today, and she was absolutely lovely. She was talking about how she wants to do a flower show. She doesn't do like if you ever watch Chelsea Flower Show, she doesn't do like the big show gardening type thing. She would do arrangements in the floristry tent that they have, and what she was doing was beautiful. She was making buttonholes for a wedding, and she said the rose was called Miss Piggy, and it was the most beautiful salmony coloured rose, and she was putting it together with a coffee coloured rose. Have you ever seen her? And it was, although it's called coffee, it was like an ivory with a bit of coffee in. It was just a delight. And she put bits of dried brown grasses and curled up little leaves. Oh, they were just so beautiful, and I was like, oh, my wedding flowers were just purple and cream. But you know, I had a Christmas wedding, not an autumn wedding, so but he looked adorable, and she had all sorts of gorgeous things in the shop. I just popped in because they're newly opened. They do have another shop in our town, that particular brand of florist, a little independent business, but she said their other shop is more their practical workspace where they make their tributes, wreaths, bouquets. I'm just going to do this one before I forget, all that sort of thing. Whereas this shop is going to be like a gift shop. She's starting to get in her Christmas bits and pieces. She had a few Halloweeny bits and things like that, little gift things, gifts, packets of seeds and mugs and all sorts of things. It was just delightful. Right, now I've had time to really look at this, and I want to go over it again. So I've got my yellowed orange, but I might actually use the Spanish orange. Where's that? Yeah, I'm going to use the Spanish orange to go over. Let's come out a little bit, because I feel that some of the areas need a little bit more work, a bit more burnishing and a bit more brightness. I'm going to go over all of them, and also I've missed a few areas so I can fill them in while I'm just brightening and lightening with this. And you can see I'm going over everywhere really, but there are areas that I want to keep a little bit darker. But now, because I can see around those leaves, I just feel like I need a little bit more. This is very sharp, so it can get in between the leaves, but obviously it won't stay sharp forever. I think I've got a Verithin, this colour I have. I used it, didn't I, earlier, for the other pumpkins, but I may not need it. Try and just stick with this one because it'll be a bit easier to colour such a large area. I feel it's adding some more vibrancy, which I would like to add. And hopefully this might be our final bit, but I thought I might want to do a little bit extra once I'd done my leaves. But it's not always easy to know until you've done a little bit more. I often get a friend saying to me, what colour shall I do this particular bit of my page? I don't know what colour to do the X, whatever it might be. And I will say, well, what I would do, I share this advice, is do the bits you know what colour you want to do first. So, you know this is going to be orange, probably. And so I'm doing the bits I know. So I haven't decided what colour to do my bricks yet, my door, any of that yet. But I want to see how it stands like this. I mean, do I want to do them orange? Well, probably not. There'll probably be too much orange. But until I've seen what the orange is and how it looks, I can't decide that. You see what I mean? So it's just a matter of being a little bit patient sometimes and letting the picture develop as you colour. That's quite daring. I'm sure some people prefer to sort of plan it all out a little bit first so they can imagine what it might look like. Of course, because I can't visualise, I can't do that, so it doesn't work for me. So I have to have a different method. Covering around those leaves and around our lamp. Now I feel that black is spreading a bit. Be a bit careful. I can hear some clunking in here. Not sure why. Something's clicking. Husband hasn't made my coffee yet, but that's good because I'm not ready for it yet, so it won't be cold by the time I get to it. Possibly. Maybe we'll find out, won't we? Ooh, just wiggling around a bit. You have to keep an eye on your posture while you're colouring. Make sure you're not getting too hunched over and making yourself sore. Also, give your eyes a break. Look outside the window occasionally. Focus on a long distance for a while. Make sure your shoulders aren't raising up too much because that can give you a bit of... Also, lowering your shoulders helps reduce your stress. But yeah, if your shoulders are too raised, it can give you an ache. Let's see if my son's okay, actually. I forgot to ask him. He had a headache last night. And he'd used Dr. Google, which is always, I think, dangerous. And he's told me what it was. I've got all the symptoms of this thing. And I said, well, what's that? And he said, it's where you probably sleep awkward and then it traps the nerve. And I thought, okay, it could very well be that because it was sort of in the side of his head. And he thought it might have been coming from a bit of a sore in his neck. I thought, okay, I'll let you have that. But often I find it quite funny. I don't know if you do the same thing. You've got something a bit wrong with you. You go onto the old Dr. Google, you put in your symptoms, and even if you go to the a page like I might go to WebMD or the NHS, or patient.info, proper sites that seem to be well researched, etc. it will tell you you've got some awful rare disease that's incurable. Always. And then you go to your doctor and they'll go, oh, it's just blah, and it'll be gone within a few days, or here's a little bit of ointment, or just take a couple of pills or whatever. You're like, oh, okay. Not something that not anything like as serious as I thought it was going to be in the first place. So it's always wise to not necessarily look things up, because you can give yourself a bit of a scare. I do sometimes look a few things up, but as I say, I'm very careful to you know, make sure that if it's what I think might be serious, that you actually talk to someone who knows what they're doing, whether that be your GP or pharmacist. In the UK, pharmacists can sometimes help you out without you having to go to the GP, which can be quite useful. I went to one. What did I want? Oh, I was looking for something to help with my menopause symptoms, and I said, you know, do you have any sort of natural remedies or anything like that? Pharmacist said, nope, you need to go on HRT. The lady who worked in the shop, who wasn't a pharmacist, said, actually, we've got some supplements that are supposed to be quite good. So she showed me those, so I started taking those. But I'm now on HRT. HRT, for those in the US, I think you call them hormone therapy. We call it hormone replacement therapy. And I wasn't thinking, I was noticing some changes, but not necessarily things that I really cared about. Like, I seem to be having a few less hot flushes in the day, but it is colder, so it might not be that. But I was still having just as many at night, so I can cope with them in the day. And there are a few other more personal symptoms that I was noticing, side effects I should say, that I had read that you can get, that I was getting. Then I noticed a huge change yesterday. Now I've been taking them for 27 days, I think. So not apparently it can take 3 weeks to 3 months to start working. So okay. And we had there was a problem with the trains. Both boys were out, and there were trespassers on the railway line, so the trains had to stop until the police investigate and move the people on. Why do people do this? I've got no idea. I think it's usually kids. But anyway, so the police, I assume, I don't know what actually happened, but anyway, so the trains were all stopped and just had to be paused while it was sorted out, because obviously it's very dangerous. And so they were about due to leave. Now normally when this sort of things happen, I worry a lot, but I looked into it, and I tried to let my one son know, and I couldn't, because he was walking between uni and the station, and his phone was on silent, and so I couldn't phone him, and he didn't have any Wi-Fi, so I couldn't message him, so I couldn't contact him. So I looked into all the options, kept an eye on what was going on, but I wasn't panicked and worried. I was like, well, I think I'm going to colour that with this, and over the top of that a bit. There we go. I was just thinking, right, well, what's going to happen? Well, he'll have to decide. I'll give him a ring when he gets there and talk to him, and he'll have to decide whether he wants to wait at the station and get a lift from his dad when his dad eventually finishes work and there's a cafe there he could go and get something to eat, or he's got some money, or he could walk back to the bus stop and get a bus back or whatever. So I was just thinking about all his options so I could talk to him about it. But by the time he reached the station, they were moving again a little bit, the trains, and he just got on one. Right, where are we colour-wise? Right, that is that. Now, I am thinking we have got these bricks to do, so should we work on those next? Now I had thought about terracotta. I'm just looking at, yeah, I think that is what I'm going to use. Now we've got the bricks around the windows and the window sills, and we've got the brick in the chimney. Let's pull the book down a little bit. Oops, so you can see. There we are. So I'm going to start with the window bricks. I'm just going to make a start. Now I'm not pressing terribly hard because I don't want these to necessarily be the focus of our picture, but you know, they're obviously a bit darker, but I think they look fairly brick-like. And what I'm doing is I'm going around the edge with a slightly harder line and then sort of fading it towards the middle. Nothing too fancy. I do have much more detailed videos on bricks. I have one on how to actually draw bricks if you have a house and you want to draw bricks on it. I've got a video for that. And I've got one for colouring grey stone bricks. A couple actually. Actually I did one in here. You may have seen it. I called it the witch's room, the one with the cauldron. There are bricks around the edge of that page and I did some in grey. So I've done a few bits for bricks, but this one I'm keeping quite straightforward, just a little darker around the edge. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, I didn't get too worried about it. I stayed quite calm. So I do feel a bit calmer, so I'm really hoping that that's going to remain, and that's a thing, because that's why I wanted them. So we'll see. I've got another 2 months supplies. I had 3 months supply in total, so I'm going to try them. I've got to go back to the doc towards the end of the course of meds to talk to her about it. Now I'm going to try and change from using a gel to using a patch, because I think it'll be easier, because the gel is so cold. To put it on your legs or arms, but either way you have to let it dry for 3 minutes, and it feels a really long 3 minutes when it's cold. Maybe I'm just a bit of a wuss. Now what I'm going to do with the sill and frame is put a really light layer of this on. This is just a little decision I've made now. And I'm going to put another colour on top after to sort of burnish it. So we're just going to put a little bit of this on at the moment on all of them. Got a candle on this one. There we go. And I've got to go around the door. Can you see the door? No. There we go. I was lucky I checked, wasn't it? So yes, I hope that it's working, but I know some people find it doesn't really work for them, and some people find it's very good, so we'll just wait and see. And I only think, yeah, I only woke up once last night, which was rather nice, and everyone's got a week off this week. This is the last week of October, beginning of November, so everyone's got the week off, which is good. I did see someone post that the clocks change this weekend, but I don't know if it's this weekend or next weekend. I've got to have a look into that. It's quite useful to know. Get that right. So that, yeah, I hope it's this weekend and we can all get used to it before going back to uni, which is, they've got the week off. It's always nice. I used to like it when it fell in half term, which it because it meant everyone could get used to it before going back to school, because it's not very nice whichever way it goes, whether you're trying to go to bed early and get off to sleep and you can't, or whether you lose an hour's sleep and you're really tired, or you're having to eat late and you're starving, or whatever it might be, or you're eating early and you don't want to eat. It's like, oh, it's never much fun. So it's nice to be able to get used to it in the holidays, and you can sort of almost ease yourself in gently if you want to, and not necessarily do it in one go. These steps I'm not going to do in this colour, just so you know. I am going to do this bit just like I did with the window frames, just really light, and there's another colour going to go on top of there which will transform it. Now this one is quite different. I'm going to give it some thought while I do these two, I think. We'll do this bit though, lightly again. There we go. And then we'll go back to doing our brickwork. I'm wondering whether to do these the same colour as the bricks, so that it just sort of ties in and matches. I think it might be the best way to do it. I wonder what colour Johanna's done hers. I have seen it, but I haven't noted it, if you know what I mean. So I haven't really... Hopefully I won't be copying what she did. But if I am, I'm copying from the master. There. But I think if you haven't got your book, she's got a download from the very last day of her book launch. I think she used to give away a lot more pages to start with, but I think her publisher doesn't like her. She's got a different publisher now than she did when she first started out. It's weird that this colour is called terracotta. This is not what I would consider to be terracotta colour at all. Right, we'll do these bricks. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I wonder whether she was allowed to give away, because I know she, for Secret Garden Enchanted Forest, she gave away about 4 pages. And then Lost Ocean, I think there was just the whale page, which was a competition. And then World of Flowers, she did 30 Days of Flowers, gave away that bit, so that was a double page. And then Ivy, she did a Halloween page. I don't know if she did... Oh, she did the butterfly, just the butterfly page. It was a competition. That's right. Right, I've decided what I'm doing with this middle one now. I'm going to do these, not like bricks, but like roof tiles, so a bit darker here, and then lighter towards the tip, like that. So more intense at the top, more layers, and then less here. How long have we been going? 44, okay. Yeah, I thought it might be 2 videos, but it won't. There'll be another one, at least, for the details. Or I might go back to using a few more Verithin pencils. And again, for this, I'm just going to go with this slightly lighter layer. As I say, there's another colour to come on top of this lot eventually. And now our chimney. So I could come in a bit closer, couldn't I? Around each brick. I think I'm going to need to sharpen my pencil. Just looking at the tree branches across the sky, it's lost its leaves already, the tree that I can see. It's been quite windy though, it's brought the leaves down. My husband was saying how nice the leaves are on his drive home from work. He said he could take me, but I said we'll see it next weekend, and he said it might all be down by then, and I said it's okay, there'll be other years. I've got a lot to do, but they're beech, the trees, on his way to work, and when they're on the tree still, and they're very beautiful brown, and if it's just rained, the tree trunks are very black, and then the sun shines, it shines off the leaves and the tree trunks, and it just looks gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But no, I hoping we'll see it next week. So I've got to go that direction to go to my parents, my niece's birthday. I'm going to have a little meet up with her and her mum and sister and brothers and stepdad and my parents. That'll be nice. Seeing everybody, having a little get together. And then her sister's birthday is in December, so we'll have another get together then. And then we're having one in December, pre-Christmas. I think we've organised a date. I think. I don't know if I've written it on the calendar. Perhaps I should. Now the last bit here. Again, I'm going to do this lightly, like I did for my other bits and pieces, and we'll come in with our last colour. But this chimney pot, I want to make it darker on the edge, both edges, and fade towards the middle like that. And again, another colour. Now here, I think, do we want this striped? That one paler, then this one darker, and this one a bit paler, this one darker, this one a bit paler, this one darker. Now, yeah, our next colour is going to be, where is it? Oh, here it is. Is that it? Can't see. Yeah, peach. Okay, we're going to use the peach. I'm going to start here on the chimney pot, and I'm just going to extend that colour a little bit out towards the middle, like that. And then this one I'm just going to go over. I'm struggling to see. I've got blurred vision at the moment. I'm going to sharpen my pencil, and I'm going to look outside for a minute and get my vision back going. It's a bit better. Right, this mushroom toadstool, I'm going to go a little darker on the edge and bottom. So I'm layering up my colour. And then I'm going to just put a bit less towards the middle and top. Like that. And I'm going to put a bit of this on these lighter stripes like that. I might even put a bit on there. Okay, now let's make sure, oops, hold on, that you can see, yeah. So on all these window surrounds where I did that lighter bit, we're just going to go over it with this peach. I was hoping it might look a bit like the inside of the pumpkin, but I'm not sure if it's really the right colour, but I think it might just work anyway. So I'm just going to go with it. It's a little bit pinker than I imagined, but I think it'll be okay. I'm also thinking about inside the windows, the sort of background and I think I'm just going to make them quite light and bright as if the light is switched on. I think that looks nice and welcoming. Can you see this bit? Yeah. Just doing the same on all of them anyway. Okay. Now, I've got the door to do. Tempted to just do wooden, but I shall have a think. I'm going to get my coffee in a minute, have a drink, and I think, decide what to do with it. I think it's the afternoon light that makes my eyes go a bit blurry, because late afternoon, well, actually it's only 3 o'clock. I had exactly the same yesterday at this time of day, and I thought it was because I've been colouring all day, but I haven't been colouring all day today, so I think it must be the light levels. But yesterday I resolved it by putting on my magnifying glasses, so I might do the same thing today. They're quite a funky pair of glasses. I'm sure they don't look funky when I'm wearing them, but they're quite useful, is what I mean. And this one, can you see this little one? You can. Just finish this one. Okay. Oh. Now, let's come out, zoom out a little bit, so you can see the whole thing so far. So far so good, I think. Oh. Now we've got a lot of detailing to do, and I'm going to leave that to the next video. So it's not loads, but it's going to take time because it's smaller areas, so we're going to leave it to the next one. So for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed the rest of your day, and happy colouring.